Hello, hello, hello. It is Friday at 6:30 p.m. Question of the week. Are you tired of juggling multiple tasks and multiple deadlines and you keep thinking I need some help. I need a helping hand? Well, we got your answer. Stop looking for it cuz it's here. And I want to introduce you to you this month of July, AI for productivity. It is the assistant that you've been waiting for. So glad to have you in the house. I want to welcome you to the Purposeful Productivity Show. I'm Florence, your host, and I'm a productivity coach, practitioner, have been doing it for many, many, many years. And I coach professionals, entrepreneurs, faith-based organizations, nonprofit executives on how to fix the friction in their productivity systems so that they can create the value on purpose that they're seeking. I help them get more efficient and more effective in what they do. So again, tonight, the show topic is all about using AI as a personal productivity assistant and moving along in that vein. I'm excited to have you here, and I'm going to get right into tonight's topic because there's no time to waste. As you know, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And tonight we're going to talk about just three things: the role of AI in productivity, finding some tools, some things you want to think about when you're looking for AI tools specifically in productivity, and then talk through some ideas and concepts and steps you can take to add AI into your regular workflow. That's our agenda today, and I'm glad to cover it with you. What I want to do is just find out who's in the building with us tonight. But before we do that, I just want to remind you, if you have questions this evening, to go ahead and put the questions in chat, in the comments, put a Q colon in front of them. That'll help me find them. So let's see who's out there, who is with us in the building tonight. We have our moderator, Frank Jackson, is here with us. Thank you and welcome to you for being here. We also have another person in the building with us, the Emotional CEO. Excited to have you and glad to have, yes, the live tribe with us. And if you're a part of the live tribe, whether you're in chat or not, you're listening, perhaps you're doing some housework or feeding children or spouse or whomever it is, then welcome. Glad to have you here with us tonight anyway, listening in. And I want to encourage you, when you get an opportunity, go back and leave a comment. And if you're a part of the magical replay crew, leave a comment. Let me know where you're listening from and what your experience with using AI for productivity is, or what your questions are, which is even better. Love to get your questions to get them answered throughout the month of July, because July, again, is all about AI for productivity. So let's get right into it. The first one we want to talk about is understanding the role of AI in the world of productivity, because you got to start with knowing what you want to talk about or what you want to use it for. And it is, of course, we know, on the rise. ChatGPT became a regular word in our conversations and in what we do, but there are so many other systems and tools and software products that are coming onto the market and are already being put into things that we use every day. And so the role is really going to be baked in, if you will, to pretty much everything we use. If you use any kind of software anywhere, it's going to have an artificial intelligence component built in. And artificial intelligence is really built on a large language model. It's software that basically learns your habits, what you say, how you say it, using known data on the internet. Big source of that data is Google, as well as some other companies like Microsoft and many others, but large language models that are being trained, this software, this machine learning, it's happening, it's being trained on existing language. Now, let me just say, I'm not solely talking about text. I'm not solely talking about words. The thing that we have to think about now, language is really everything. It's voice, it's sound or audio, it's images, it's skin tone, it's hair color, it's every part of us becomes language in this world because we're in a digital world, and this is all digital. It's all bits and bytes running through computer systems, getting converted into language. So whether it's a picture, a painting, art, graphics, text, regular words, songs, it's all being consumed, if you will, into these large language models and learning every day. It's almost like a self-learning environment. I could say it is a self-learning environment because the more it gets fed, the more it learns and the more it moves and responds to us. So just be aware of that, okay? The other thing that I want to just think about is we really have to know and learn for ourselves the benefits of using this type of technology in terms of the role it's going to play in our lives. And it's not just what we do, just think broader than what I'm going to do myself, but think about all of the places we interact in society, grocery stores, banks, everywhere. Think there's a component of AI that is already in place. Vehicles, manufacturing, artificial intelligence is and will continue to play a role, and there will be benefits of efficiency and effectiveness and hope over time more accuracy because again it's learning the language that's being thrown at it every day. There are some limitations and challenges, right? It's not perfect. It does what we call hallucinate. So it can give artificial intelligence results are not 100% accurate. They're not always based on authoritative sources of data. Some of us remember when you wanted to know the source, you went to academic articles, you went to real credible sources, things that had been vetted multiple times. Well, when you're using some of these artificial intelligence capabilities, it may not be using the same or similar authoritative sources. And so the challenge and limitation is you can't just take it the way it comes out of the box. You can't open it up and say, give me a magic answer or do this for me and not look at it. It still takes the human mind, the human brain, our creativity, our critical thinking, our soul. It takes our soul to use this stuff, these capabilities effectively and not cause harm to ourselves. We can take some actions that will cause harm as well as we can take actions that are beneficial. The differentiator is us, the human. There's still not, in my opinion, this is my opinion, please do not come after me. If you have a different opinion, it is perfectly acceptable. But in my opinion, there is no more powerful computer on the planet, on planet Earth, than the human mind. Machine learning does not replace the human mind. So we are still critical in this entire equation of all of the stuff that's happening. All of the AI tools in the world does not replace us and what we can do that is completely uniquely human. So please hear me say that. But what can it do? It can help you be more productive because it can improve your efficiency. It can enhance your creativity. I didn't say replace your creativity. I didn't say replace your efficiency. I said improve your efficiency and enhance your creativity. It's just a virtual assistant. What are some of the things that you may want to think about doing with it? This is all about the role of AI in our productivity. Setting reminders and alarms, managing schedules, sending messages on your behalf, controlling smart home devices. I have to tell you though, smart home devices and me are not friends. I unplugged mine because she did something that was really I didn't like. I was like, you gotta go. She is stuck in a drawer, unplugged. Where she's gonna stay. And providing information, helping you do some research, and engaging. Some people use it as a conversational. Now, I'm not ready to have a conversation like that, but some people do. If you need somebody to talk to, maybe you use your AI tool to be your conversation master. So there is, I'm going to come back to that, Dagan. Yes, we don't use all of our brain power. If we did, it would be amazing. We would be amazed at what we could accomplish. So we've got some other folks in the building. So let me go ahead and say hello to you. We have Dagan from BGG Grooming. Hello, sir. Yes, the average human only uses 10% of their brain. And I don't know if it's 10%, but we don't use as much of our brain as we could. And I will just share with you my philosophy. Again, this is Florence. This is not scientific, but my philosophy about that is because we're trying to hold on to too much that we don't have to. When I was in doing my training as a historian, I was trained as a historian. One of the things my professors kept telling me is, don't memorize that which you can look up. Use your brain to problem solve, but don't use your brain to hold on to facts that you can look up. Because our brain really does a great job of problem solving and being creative. The other person who is in the building with us is that troublemaker, tech troublemaker. Hey, tech troublemaker. Glad to have you in the building with us tonight. This is an exciting topic because it's one that we are all hearing a lot about. So let's move on to item number 2, and that is, once you've thought about how AI can help you and the role of AI in your personal productivity and improving your efficiency, giving that some thought and putting some ideas down on paper, so to speak, you want to start to look for various AI-powered tools. And I said earlier that it's really baked into just about all systems that we use. It's Google has put an AI, has enabled AI even in Gmail. It is in just about everything. Every piece of software that we use now has vendors and suppliers and developers are pushing out some type of AI capability into their product these days. We can go down the list, many you may have heard of, but what I'm submitting is you want to think about how you're actually going to use them, and don't just simply go get a whole bunch of software because it's the cool new shiny toy. Figure out and start to investigate those applications and capabilities that are really truly going to bring you value in your workflow. For me, managing information overload is a huge one. So looking for how to use these tools to manage the massive information that comes at me, every day. And harnessing that in terms of managing task management and project management and information management. Those are important to me. Others may be important to someone else. If you're a content creator, let's say you do graphics, maybe what's going to be important in your workflow is helping you to develop graphics using these tools. If you are doing video, I know quite a number of people are using it for video production to repurpose video content that they're creating. Maybe it's whiteboarding an idea and you just want to get some ideas out and then you'll refine them. So figuring out what you're going to use it for will lead you to helping you to find the appropriate tool to use in the correct use case, whether it's scheduling or something else. We know so many of us, I'll say those of you who are in the comments with us, in the building with us, a number of you are using some tools already. What I'm suggesting is you want to think through all of the places that you would potentially use these tools in your personal productivity, whether it's in managing email, managing calendars, managing tasks, managing notes. I'll share this. I use a product called Evernote, and I still love the product. I'm ignoring right now all the things that are happening in news stories. I love the product. And it now has an AI capability in it that on occasion I will use. But that's very specific to me and my workflow. Would I tell someone to go get Evernote because it has AI in it? No, because there's got to be a bigger purpose, in my opinion. If you use Notion for information management, project management, task management, scheduling, notes, planning, of course, Notion has AI capability in it. Do you need to turn it on and use it just because it's there? Maybe not, because you need to determine what you're going to use it for, to your benefit, not just using it because it's there. Okay? It definitely is good for research. Find those research tools that will help you. It is good, I've talked about this, but good for content creation of all sorts. It's really good. AI is really good for automating tasks. I am a huge proponent of automating routine tasks that happen over and over and over again, that you don't have to be the one to execute them. I'll give you an example of something that I use. I use iPhone and Mac computers. Got a laptop, got multiple laptops, desktops, multiple iPads, multiple phones. And there are a series of messages that I send out every week to various people. Well, long before the conversation of AI started in the general communication and our general conversation, I was using Microsoft shortcuts to set up those messages to go out on the same day at the same time to the same people every week. Why? It's routine. It has to be done every week, but I don't have to be the one to do it. I have delegated that work over to technology. So AI can be a way to help you automate those more time-consuming and repetitive tasks that are on your list, and a lot of them are just routine things we do every day, every week, every month, and whatnot. And then this is a really great one to look for a tool that you use in terms of writing. If you write, most people do have to write something, reports, letters, speeches. If you're in business, you write speeches all the time. Presentations, another word for speech. Emails, another word, a letter. Right? Draft it, run it through a AI writer, and see what it comes back to give you a recommendation on. Maybe you want the copy to have a different tone than the way you have. So for example, maybe you want a casual, friendly tone. Maybe you want a professional tone. Maybe you want a stern tone. So you could take that content, that text that you've already written in your own words using your own brain, and feed it to a content writer, AI content writer and see what it gives back. Do you have to take it? You don't have to take what it tells you. You can look at it and see what parts do I like, which parts work, which parts don't. So those are ways you want to look at tools. I want to just share with you. I'll do it right now because next week you want to be here. We have a gentleman who's coming on the show who's really versed with AI tools, and he's going to talk about tools that we can use to be productive. And he's someone very, very knowledgeable. He has a great domain of knowledge in this area, and he's someone we know. I'm not going to tell you who it is and spoil the surprise. You got to come and show up and be here to be with him and to get the nuggets that he will drop. But he will share some things with you, some specific tools with you, and how to use them in your workflow, some suggestions, some tips for using those tools in your workflow to be more productive. The last thing we want to talk about is learning how to use these AI, I'm calling companions, in your everyday world, at home, in business, at work, in volunteer service. Investigating, learning how to integrate these tools into your life is going to be critical, because if they're friction, then and you've got to think about it too hard and you've got to figure out where to go, you're not going to use it. So learning to use whatever software products you decided to incorporate, then taking the time to actually learn that tool. Learning how to use it, understanding what it gives you, what it doesn't give you, what its strengths are, what its weaknesses are, where are the opportunities, incorporating the steps into your actual workflow. When am I going to put this? Let's say you write a video script. Well, after you write that script, when are you going to run that script through your content rewriter? Put that in your steps so you know at this step in my process, I'm going to run that video script through my content writer. If you're using it to schedule, when are you going to do that? Are you going to use it every week to plan out your schedule? Are you going to use it every day, every month? Making the decision, and then exactly what do you want to use it for? In June, I shared some tips on using ChatGPT to build a time block schedule. You don't have to do that every week. Maybe you do it once a quarter. But if you take your existing time block schedule and drop it into whether it's ChatGPT, Bard, or anyone else and have it build it into your workflow so that there's no friction. You know you're going to do it. You've got your system set up. And here's a way to automate that. Use your text expansion because you've got your prompt now that you've already built. Instead of retyping that prompt or even copying and pasting, take that prompt, put it in text expansion, and at the moment your process says, hey, review my schedule, modify it, run that text expansion snippet in whatever tool you're going to use, and let it spit out a new time block schedule or refined time block schedule for you. So if you have questions, please feel free to go ahead and ask your questions in chat. If you have not done so yet, hit the like button and give me a thumbs up so that we are knowing that we're giving you value and you are getting something out of tonight's conversation. I don't really see very many comments, so we're going to move along swiftly. While I get into your action item steps, I want to give you a few minutes to think about your productivity win of the week. What is your productivity win of the week? Rather than consistently beating yourself up about what you don't do, celebrate what you have accomplished. Maybe you added one tweak to your environment. Maybe you learned to write an email more efficiently. Maybe you learned how to use something in your software. I'll give you an example. I use the software called Ecamm to run the production of the show. And actually use eCam for Zoom meetings and a whole bunch of things. So this goes with tonight's. eCam has released a AI title writer in its software. So this week, I used it not for my show. I actually wrote my own title for the show. I did run it through a content rewriter to see what it came up with, and I didn't like what it came up with, so I stuck with what I wrote. However, I was looking for a title for something else, and I used the AI title writer in eCam. So this is my win. I used the title writer in eCam to just give me some title ideas for what I wanted to use it for. Wanted to see how it worked. Back to learning how to use the software. I was like, let me try it. And it actually gave me a pretty good title that I used, even though it wasn't for my video, it was for something else. So you can use these tools not exactly for what they're saying they're for. You can use them in different ways. Bend the tool to make it work for you. So what do you do with all of this stuff? You guys know that I'm a proponent of knowing what action steps you want to take. The first action I'm going to suggest to you in this environment, and I would say do it this week before next week. Make a list of repetitive tasks that you do over and over and over and over. Just open up a notepad, open up Evernote, open up Notion, open up whatever you use to capture notes in, and just start making a list of all of those repetitive things that you do. Repetitive tasks that you do over and over again. Make a list of them all together. You don't have to do anything other than that. Then once you've got your list, what you want to do is choose a task, one of those repetitive tasks that you want to delegate to AI. You want to put some overalls on that task by using AI. You want to choose it and be deliberate so that it gives you value and it relieves stress and pressure and takes some work off of you and gives you that time back that you would use to execute that task manually. Choose that task intentionally this week. Then, once you've chosen the task, run a pilot with your AI tool for 30 days. Don't change the tool. Don't go looking for a new tool. Don't change the task. Don't go looking for another task. Whatever task you decided to use AI for, run that task for 30 days. Just let it go for 30 days. And then at the end of the 30 days, you get to assess the effectiveness. You'll get a little bit better. You will have saved yourself or reduced or redirected the time, because you can't save time. You've redirected the time that you would have executed a manual task. You've given it to an AI tool to execute for you. See how it goes. Follow the plan, do, review cycle. You've planned it by making the list and picking the task and finding the app. You're doing it, you're running that task for 30 days with an AI tool. Now, by next week, it will not have been 30 days. Next week, it will only be a week, maybe, or 3 or 4 days. If you've run it that long and you've figured out something you want to use before we have the discussion next week about specific tools, come back and let us know what you chose and what task you're running if it's not too personal. So we've got some a win of the week, and Dagan says his win of the week. Oop, wrong thing. All right, let's try this again. Win of the week will be done this weekend making some shells for a friend because you do woodworking. Ooh, that'll be nice. That will be really nice. You're a good friend. Awesome, Dagan. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we have really truly covered what we want to cover tonight, not before you long. You can always connect with me if you have questions. You can leave a comment in the replay. I'll respond to the comments. You can go to florencedonald.live. You can book 15 minutes on my calendar just to talk. Please make sure if you're on the replay crew, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, so that this month of July, of course, my phone is going off. This month of July, what in the world is ringing? Sorry. This month of July is all about AI tools, and Florence learned how to turn off her phone at the right time. And we will be back again next week because we have a special guest coming, and he will share with you specific tools that you can use to increase your productivity. Come back and have somebody else come back with you so that you have an opportunity and they have an opportunity to get that knowledge. So with that, I'm going to say good night, everybody. It has been a blast being here, and awesome. I love that. Your win of the week, the Emotional CEO says, new clients already calling. Tech Troublemaker says, taking Tuesday night off, doing a creators meetup tomorrow morning to make up.